Welcome to another crochet tutorial with Cozy Rosie UK. Today I'm going to be showing you how to work around the posts of your stitches, and we're going to be covering specifically the half treble or half double front post and back post stitches. So the first thing we need to do before we even get started is, of course, make sure that you've hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on another one of my crochet tutorials, and hit that bell to receive notifications each time I upload a new tutorial or a free crochet pattern. Remember, you can always find the written instructions and even more information and patterns featuring this wonderful stitch on my crochet blog. So head to the description box and click the link in there. So I've already chained a total of 13 chains, and then in the second chain from the hook, I've placed a half treble crochet or a half double crochet in US terms all the way down. So I've got a total of 12 stitches. When we're working the posts, we're not going to work as we normally would into the front or between the front and the back loop of the stitches. We're going to work around these posts, which is this little bit underneath the stitch. So we're going to literally insert our hook around either the front or around the back of this crochet post. So get your first row of stitches done, because you always need something to work around when you're working around the front or the back post. So I've chained one. The reason I'm working in a different colour, in case you're wondering, is so that we can really see where we're inserting our hook. So working back along this row, in my first stitch, I'm just going to place it as normal through the stitch, working a half treble crochet. And then in the second stitch, I'm going to work around this post. So rather than inserting my hook as I normally would through the stitch, I'm going to still work a half treble crochet. So I yarn over my hook first, and I want to insert my hook around this post. So you can see you've got two holes around this post, and we're going to insert our hook. For the front post, we're going to insert it from the front. So you bring your hook around into that hole around the post. So it literally picks up the whole of the post of that stitch. We're going to yarn over and bring our yarn back through and complete the stitch completely as normal. For the back post, it's almost exactly the same, but we insert our hook from the back. So I almost turn my crochet over to make my life easier, because we insert the hook for the back post from the back. So we're going to come around the back of it. So I'm just put my finger on top of that. You see we've got the same hole we want to work through, but we need to come through the back to pick up that post. So I'll do that again, because this is the one that always got me stuck when I was learning. So we're inserting the hook through the back of the fabric. So we kind of bring it around the back, through the hole of that next to the stitch. And then we want to grab just that one post. We're going to yarn over, bring our hook back through, yarn over, and pull through as normal. Let's do a front post on the next stitch. So we're going to insert our hook from front. So we bring it over the front of our project, pick up the post of that stitch there. We're going to yarn over, pull through as normal, pull through all three loops in our hook. So working for the back post, we yarn over and we're inserting our hook around the back. So we go over the top of the stitches, through the hole, pick up just that one post, yarn over to bring your loop back through, yarn over and pull through. This looks really messy, but I promise you it creates the most wonderful fabric. So for the front post, we insert from the front, not into the stitch, but around that post, yarn over, bring our loop through, yarn over, pull through all three loops. For the back, we insert from the back. You can almost see that we're going to insert where we've just finished. So we insert the hook I kind of bend mine so that my hook knows to just pick up that one post of the stitch, yarn over, bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So for the front, we go in through the front, around that post, and pull through all 3. So for the back, we come from the back, just pick up that one post. Don't worry, we all drop them. So from the back, oops, pick up that one post, bring your hook back through, and pull through all 3 loops. Front post, around the back, and I'm going to finish off with a normal half treble in my last stitch. I've reached that point, which I think I have. Yep, so this is my last stitch. Just a normal one in the end. So you can see, I'm just going to pull that up for a minute. It's annoying, there's a pen in the way. So you can see once we've completed those stitches that it creates an in and an out. So this is why it's used for a mock ribbing or a faux ribbing. If it's all in the same colour, it would look very neat and tidy. But you can see that it kind of makes this stitch pop out, this one go in. So the front post pokes out towards you and the back post gets pulled to the back, as you can see. So if we're going to do another row and we're going to work on top of the ones that we've worked. So we're almost going to reverse what we've done on this row. But again, to make it super easy, I am going to quickly change colours so that you can see where we're going and with what. I can find the end. Oh, that was easy. So just before I chain, place that over there, just going to pull through and chain. There we go. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to start my row with a normal half treble crochet in the first stitch. Keeps my edges nice and neat. So as you can see, when we've turned this around, the back post comes towards us. So now we have to do a front post around this post. So if you remember, with the front post, we insert from the front around that post, we yarn over, bring that loop back through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now this post is now facing away from me, so I need to do a back loop. So I'm going to insert my hook into that hole from the back and around that post. I'm going to yarn over, bring it back through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So the only real difference when you're working a back post, whichever stitch, or a front post, whichever stitch you're doing it from, if it be a treble crochet or a double crochet or even larger stitches, the stitch remains the same, it's just where you're inserting your hook. So I'm going to do a front post on this one. It's all about where you insert the hook. So if you remember with your back post, you come around the back of your project to pick up that loop. Sorry, pick up the post. Oops, getting caught on something there. Let me try that one again. So we go from the back and around the post. I've picked up an extra loop from somewhere. And pull through all 3. And then with the front post, we come through the front of the project. So with the back, we come around the back of the fabric to grab around that post. And from the front, we go in through the front of the fabric, or through the fabric's the best word for it, I think. Oops. So for the back post, yarn over and around the back. Front post in through the front. And then I'm just going to place a normal one here. So don't look at this side. Let's look at this side. It's much prettier. Should we do one in the same colour so you can see what it should look like? So I'm going to chain one to turn. Going to place a normal treble crochet, sorry, double crochet, half double in there. So with this one, I'm working. I can tell by feel. Can I see what I'm doing? I seem to have missed one actually. Looking at that in a bit more detail, I've missed a back loop. You see how easy mistakes are to make. Just going to go round the back of that one. There we go. And then place my final stitch. Thought it felt a little bit small. Oh, that looks a bit better. So chain one. So from this side, I want to work a front post on top of this one, and you'll see how much of a lovely ribbing these stitches create. And then a back, so round the back and underneath. There we go. And then a front. Now, some patterns may not call for you to alternate them. You may just place, might do the same stitch twice. I think there's a lovely waffle stitch which uses, I think, 2 front and then 2 back, and it creates a lovely waffle effect in your fabric as well. And they're a great stitch to practice. Or yeah, and you can create blankets and all kinds of things. So this mock rib, where you tend to do 1 front post, 1 back post, is used a lot in garment making, on the brims of hats, blankets. The opportunities are endless where you'll see this featured. But it's just remembering which way to insert your hook, whether from the front of the fabric or from the back. It is as simple in theory as that. Just going into this stitch here. So you can really start to see that ribbing effect now from the side. Really shows that off nicely. So that is everything you need to know. If you're doing whichever stitch your pattern's asking you to call or asking you to do, so a normal treble crochet or a front post double crochet, it's going to be exactly the same. You're just going to do, it's where you're putting and inserting your hook. You complete the stitch completely as normal. So with the back post, you just literally just keep going round the back of your fabric to pick up the post of the stitch you're working around and complete your stitch as normal. So whether you're doing a double crochet or a treble crochet, a half double or treble, it's all about where you're working your hook. Don't be afraid to move your project around so you can see where you're working. Fold it, whatever you need to do to get your hook into the right place to pick your loop up. So I do make a point of almost turning my project over when I'm doing the back loop because I hate it falling off. It really irritates me, but it happens. And it really does create these wonderful, this mock ribbing or front post, back post ribbing. It really is lovely. Oops. Final one on this row. Once you've done a few rows of it, you will get a lot quicker because it's like muscle memory, isn't it? With your crochet hook, it knows where it needs to be and we know where we need to put it, and that's kind of the important part. There we go, just to finish that row off for you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this crochet tutorial, and it's kind of allowed you to practice yet another stitch and really keep increasing your stitch vocabulary. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you've liked this video and enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and obviously make sure that you've subscribed to the channel, and there's a link in my description box for you to subscribe to my mailing list as well. You'll get advance notice of all the upcoming crochet patterns and other tutorials that are coming up, and also you may be invited to pattern test for me too. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.